Hey guys and girls. So today's lesson is now going back to ratios, but expressing ratios as percents. So as you know, we have been talking about the fact that ratios, so just say we have 2 girls to 5 boys, so a ratio like this can also be written like this and look like a fraction. So now, because we know this, we can turn these ratios into a percentage. And if we remember from previous years, a percentage is always a number expressed out of 100. Okay, so how do we turn 2/5 or 2 over 5 into something over 100? The easiest way to do this is to work with, think about the concept of finding equivalent ratios. And we also worked on finding equivalent rates as well. So take the fraction or the ratio 2/5. If we have to express it as a percentage, and I said that it has to be something out of 100, we need to say, okay, well, what's the top number then? So we're working with equivalent ratios here. We say, what do we do to 5 to get to 100? And we multiply that by 20. Whatever we do to the bottom, we do to the top. So 2 times 20 is 40. So now an equivalent ratio for 2/5 is 40 out of 100. Well, anything that's written out of 100, you take the top number, and that's the percent. So it means that 40%, 2/5 is also 40%. Okay, sorry, someone just came to the door, so I can't remember. I just got cut off. I'm going to do another example for you. So just say there was a survey at school, and I asked you guys what kind of music you preferred. And there were, just say, 20 students in the class, and 11 liked rap, and 5 people liked hip-hop, and 4 people liked rock. And I said, okay, well, what percentage of people like rap? So you would say, okay, first I'm going to put it as a ratio. So 11 to 20 people like rap. Now I'm going to write it how it looks as a fraction. And if I'm trying to find the percentage, it needs to equal something over 100. Because we know when we're dealing with percentages, the bottom number always has to be 100. It has to be something out of 100. So now we say, okay, what do I do to 20 to get to 100? Well, we multiply that by 5. Whatever we do to the bottom, we do to the top. 11 times 5 is 55, which means that 55% of the class like rap. I'm going to do the same with hip-hop, and I'm going to do the same with rock. So with hip-hop, 5 out of 20 people liked hip-hop. What percentage of the class is that? Again, put it out of 100. 20 times 5 equals 100. Whatever we do to the bottom, we do to the top. 5 times 5 is 25, which means that 25% of people like hip-hop. And then we said that 4 people out of 20 like rock. So 4 out of 20 like rock has to equal something out of 100. Again, 5 times 20 is 100. Whatever we do to the bottom, we do to the top. 4 times 5 is 20, which means that 20% of people like rock. Now let's take those fractions. So we had 55 out of 100. We had 25 out of 100. And we had 20 out of 100. Okay, so we know that this is the fraction, right? This is the fraction. This is the percentage. Now, how do we turn that also into a decimal? Well, 55% expressed as a decimal, you put a 0 in front with a dot. which is the decimal here, and then we put 55. So 55% expressed as a decimal is 0.55. So basically we have to think back to the decimal places, or the places after the decimal. So this is the tenths place, and this is the hundredths place. If we had 5 out of 100, the decimal wouldn't be 0.5, because 0.5 is actually 50, right? That's actually how you would think about it, but you don't need the 0. Okay, so 0.5 is actually 50%. When you have just something in the ones place, it's expressed like this as a decimal, 0.05. That's how you do that as a decimal. All right, let's do the other ones. So 25 expressed as a percentage, or 25 out of 100 expressed as a percentage is 25%, expressed as a decimal, 0.25. 20 out of 100 expressed as a percentage, 20% like this, or 0.2. We don't need to put the 0. You can if you want, if it helps you. You don't necessarily need it. So when you do the work, when you come back to school, you're going to have to turn ratios into percentages, but also into decimals as well. So I'm going to do an example for you. So this is the ratio expressed as a fraction, 1/2. As a ratio, we can express it as 5 out of 10, 5 to 10. And you might think, well, okay, how come as a fraction it's expressed like this, but as a ratio it's expressed like this? Well, if you have the ratio 5 to 10, you can express it as a fraction like this, but when sometimes the questions will want you to put things in lowest terms, so you reduce it. So, what can you divide by 10 that you can also divide by 5? Well, you can divide by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So that's why 5 out of 10 is also 1/2, or 1 to 2. So that's why in your work today you might see, you'll have to fill out a chart, and you'll see things like, you'll have a fraction 1/2 or 1 out of 2, and you'll see that the ratio will be something that is a little bit different looking. So you just have to realize that maybe the fraction part of it is expressed in lowest terms. So now expressing it as a decimal, so you have to say, okay, 5 to 10, how do you express that as a decimal and a percent? Well, I would go to the percent first. So turn it into a fraction. Now turn it into something over 100. What do you do to 10 to get to 100? You multiply by 10. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. 5 times 10 is 50, which means that 5 to 10 as a ratio is expressed as 50%, and as a decimal, 0.5. Okay, so this is your question that you need to do for homework. Okay, so write each fraction as a percent. So they're giving you all these fractions, turn them into percentages. Please try to do it right on Google Classroom. You can either write it on a piece of paper, take a picture and upload it and send it to me privately, or just type it in. Just type in, 0 point whatever, right onto Google Classroom and send that to me privately. I would love to have everybody's work right on Google Classroom, so let's have that be our goal. Anything you don't understand, please watch this video a million times if you need to, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.